Here we are at Lowe's with the lumber we just bought to make our new farmhouse table. Now I'm going to show you the receipt to show you what all we bought and what it costs. I'll put a better copy of the receipt at the end of the video. Here's all our boards. We've pretty much placed them and figured out how we want to lay them, and we're getting ready to do the pocket holes with the pocket hole drill thing we got at Harbor Freight to join the boards together, along with some wood glue. We have our pocket holes drilled. Going to use number 8 1.25 inch pocket hole screws to join the wood together, along with our cordless drill. All right, you want to video it while I...
Is it going?
It's already recording, yes.
Okay.
You have to excuse the way I look.
I think that's going to work because you're going to have to push down on
But I'm working on my table. Clamping it and pocket holing it with pocket hole screws as we go along. Then we'll build our frame with the apron, attach the legs, and of course we'll have to saw this off and make it even down here, but we got it even down here. We use the carpenter square to make sure it's even and square, which is not perfect. It's a farm table, but we make sure this end is even, and then we'll cut off that end down there. These clamps, we only have one, so we're having to go a little at a time. But we numbered our boards so that we would know which one was in the middle, which one was on the outside. So see, that's 1 and 2 down there. Okay, and then we'll get the legs on.
our frame next.
And our legs, we found on the Facebook yard sale site. They are a different wood than the white wood we're using for the tabletop and the braces. So the legs and the apron will be painted. The top will be stained Jacobian. We're using L brackets as well as pocket hole screws to fasten the legs and the frame to the tabletop. The outside ones we may or may not remove. It just depends on how stable the table is. And then we're attaching the frame to the tabletop with the L brackets and using wood glue and pocket hole screws. We have wood glued our legs as well as the apron. So next are the side aprons and the cross braces, because this table is 8 foot long, so it will have 3, maybe 4 cross braces. Now you see me vacuuming out the dust because we have our cross braces on. We have the frame attached to the tabletop. We laid it on the floor because our floor was the flattest surface we had, and we wanted to make sure our tabletop is flat. So I am vacuuming up the dust that's inside the cavities that we've created now, because we're going to get ready to flip it over, and I will start using some wood putty to fill in the small cracks on top of the tabletop. And there it is. Now, my wood putty has been put into all the cracks, and I allowed it to dry for 24 hours. This is the next day. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to sand the tabletop and sand the wood putty with 80 grit sandpaper. Now, I didn't do an extensive sanding job because I like the rustic look and I don't want it to be very, very slick. I want it to look like it's been around for a little while. I don't want it to look like a brand new farmhouse table. So I will go over this with, like I said, the 80 grit sandpaper. I'm using an orbital sander. And then I will come back and I will go over it also with 120 grit to make it even smoother. But I'm not going to smooth out all of the dinks and dents and knot holes and all that because I want the rustic look. I want this table to be farmhouse. And I have decided that the light fixture that is over the top of this table will not be staying because this is an 8 foot by 4 foot or 8 foot by 3 foot wide table, and that light fixture is just way too small to be hanging over this large table. So I will be replacing the light fixture. I have not decided what type of light fixture I will find. I'm sure it will be a hanging light fixture. It will not be a ceiling mount because I have the lights in the ceiling, recessed lights, so I do not want a flat light fixture. So, but like I said, I'm sanding this table, getting it ready to stain. This project took multiple days because I work full-time. My husband is a truck driver. We could not devote a whole entire day at a time to this project, so I just had to get in there when I could and work on it. I wish I had a workshop where I could work on the furniture that I would like to make and redo, because as you can see, I'm actually doing this in my kitchen/dining room. Everything was really good till I went to sand, and then when I started sanding, even though I have the little orbital sander that's supposed to catch all of this sawdust and sand dust, it doesn't catch it all. Well, here it is, all sanded. Here it is with the Jacobian stain on it. I love this stain. I actually saw another YouTuber using it. And this is the Minwax Jacobian or Jacobine, however you want to say it, penetrating stain. And this is with 2 liberal coats, I'm going to say. 2 liberal coats of the stain. Y'all, the first trip to Lowe's, they didn't have the pre-mixed stain. And this guy, he said, "Oh, I make you some. I can make that in this water-based wood finish." It will, and I said, "You can make it be the same." Well, y'all, it wasn't. Look, it has way too much green in it. See the difference? See how my stick is green? So if you're doing Jacobian, do not let them do this to you. Do not let them mix it up because it's not the same. So I went back and got the pre-mixed Jacobian Minwax penetrating stain at a different Lowe's. And I'm so glad I did.
For the trim,
the sides
and the legs,
the aprons and the legs will be painted antique white with this Valspar cabinet and furniture paint. I had this tinted at Lowe's when I actually installed my new kitchen cabinets. So I had this color and I thought, why buy new paint when I've already got this paint already mixed up, already here at the house, and I already knew I wanted white, the bottom of it to be white, and I thought, oh, I've got this antique white, I'm just going to use this color. So I went through and I put about 3 coats of this antique white on here, and like I said, it looks a white in this picture, but it's not. It's kind of an antique or an off-white, and I used it all over the legs and the aprons, and I may or may not go back and do an antiquing glaze on the legs and the apron. It just depends on how it looks and whether I'm satisfied with how it looks. During this project, my sister, who is single, and just got into her apartment, she wanted our smaller table. And she was talking about how she loved the colors that I picked out for our farm table. So the next video, first coat of the white. Now I'll wait for this to dry, and then I will go back and do a second coat. And then I will antique it, and then I can't seal the top until the stain is completely dry. Okay, here is the finished table with a poly on it. It's so pretty. And I've done 2 coats of the poly acrylic, and I'm stopping because I don't want it to be extremely shiny. Because I like the rough texture. I don't want it to be extremely smooth. I like the texture of the wood, but there's the finished table. Now, guys, I'm 54. My husband's 66. We built everything from stuff we got at Lowe's, with the exception of the table legs that I got off the Facebook yard sale site. So if we can build, isn't that cool? If we can build a table like this, go build you one. And honestly, this video does not do it justice. It's much prettier in person. Much, much prettier in person because it looks lighter on the camera than it does. I don't know if that would help. No. Anyway, it's much prettier because it's darker in person. The top is. Anywho, my next will be a table for my sister. Here's a close-up of the receipt that shows everything that we paid for and bought at Lowe's, with the exception of the legs.